Hello baby queers and welcome back to my channel. It is time for some neurodivergent stuff again. I think it's mostly ADHD, but I know there are some actually autism specific ones as well. So let's just see what I have in my folder, right? My life summarized in a photo. Concentrate. Me. You know, I kind of hate the stereotype of like, oh, a butterfly is floating by and then you're suddenly distracted. But you can bet that if it's a cat or a bat, I am actually going to be distracted from whatever I want to focus on. But then continue talking like nothing happened after being like, ooh, cat. Oh well. How minor the situation is. How much I overthink it. Yeah, I know this isn't specifically neurodivergent, but let's just say we all do this, right? I mean, come on. Two neurodivergent people having a conversation is literally just a non-stop loop of, oh yeah, that reminds me of this topic that is completely unrelated. I think we've been over this. Like, it always seems very unrelated, but there's always some sort of connection, but just if you listen to it, it just seems so random. Oh well. If you start your work now, you'll have plenty of time and you won't be stressing out at the last minute. Nah. Executive functioning, please. Please. But it's so bad. It's so bad. The more time I have, the less I get done. There is nothing less motivating than having enough or too much time. You know, starting early just because I have the time. Who does that? Come on. Down 3 cups of coffee and a Mountain Dew in order to focus. Bitch ass ADHD can't stop me now. I fell asleep. I fell asleep? Caffeine? Caffeine. Please do your job. Please do your job. Literally, I feel like it doesn't actually help me stay awake, but it does help me focus actually. I'm not sure if that's just because I tell myself it helps me focus or if it actually helps. I guess in the end it doesn't really matter, but sugar would definitely help, but sugar often ends up making me aggressive just because if you already have too much energy, and then you get a lot of energy from sugar, then suddenly you have way too much energy, and then you're just angry. Maybe that's just me, but don't. Like, cake and stuff is like okay, and chocolate, but if I like drink sugar, if I were to drink like normal Coke or like Mountain Dew, like energy drinks with sugar, worst idea ever. Do you have avoid socks at all costs sensory issues, or do you have must wear socks at all times sensory issues? Because I'm the first. I will avoid socks whenever I can. I am definitely not wearing socks right now. The second I get home and take off my shoes, I also take off my socks. The other day, I only took off one sock, and then I was like walking somewhere and I was like, wait, why am I still wearing a sock? I don't know what happened. I think I was really tired that day. Me. Well, it's time for bed, my brain. Is it though? Is it really? Are you sure? Brain, please. My parents happy that I made it to uni. My ADHD, but they don't know. Well, a lot of ADHD people do actually still do well in uni, so good luck, I guess. Because technically, if you do function well under like time restraints, because that's the only time you can work really, then you might do well. Either way, good luck, you know. Gays, short people, autistics, people with ADHD, not sitting in chairs correctly. And I am 3 of these things. So sitting in a chair correctly is literally impossible, and also just so painfully uncomfortable. Why would you do that? And PS, when I was a kid, or like even a teenager, I was wondering at what point I would grow up and start sitting correctly. The answer is never. So, you finally had all that free time you've been asking for. Yes. How much did you get done? Oh, sad kitty. But, yeah. If you have free time, you're not gonna get anything done. But literally, that's kind of the point. If you at least manage to relax and not totally stress out about the fact that I have so much to do. I have so many things I need to do. I have so many things I want to do. But then you don't get anything done. That's worse. But if you actually enjoyed your free time at least, then that's cool, I guess. Okay, I'ma fight this ADHD. Damn, it's already 3 PM and I haven't done a single productive thing today. Some days do be like that, you know? I feel like if it's still a balance, because of every day like this, it would stress me out so much if every day was like that. It would stress me out so much. Oh my god. But if it's some days, that's fine, right? My anxiety isn't that bad. Starter pack. Leg bouncing, picking at your legs, walking very quickly, new notifications, checks immediately. Oh, they hate me. Am I being annoying? Always tired. You know, I still don't know if I have anxiety because I always thought I have anxiety. But a lot of these are also like ADHD. Maybe it's both. Who knows? Who cares? It's way less intense and way less bad than it used to be. So I guess that's cool. When you're listening to a song and all the lyrics start applying to your life. Now again, I know this isn't really an ADHD meme specifically, but I really don't like being called out by a song. You know? When absent-mindedness from ADHD causes me to accidentally throw out the food packaging instructions and I immediately forgot how long the food needs to be in the oven. The sacred texts, no! I mean, to be fair, I think everyone probably does this, but too often. Too often. And the worst thing is if you throw it, like, the wrong way around, so the instructions are at the bottom and you can't see them anymore and you actually have to grab into the trash. At that point, I just give up and guess. If I can, like, open the trash can and see it from the top, that's fine, then I can check. But if it's, like, upside down, I'ma just hope for the best, really. Friday meetings, when somebody asks a question at 4:25 PM. Again, not neurodivergent specific, but literally, why would anyone do this? It's so frustrating. I don't understand people who just do things on weekends. You just did things all week. What's next? More things? That's how they get you. Well, if you at least managed to do the things, I'm proud of you. If you managed to do a thing today that you've meant to do, good job, dude. When someone asks you, what's wrong, but nothing's actually wrong, that's just how your face normally looks. Yeah, apparently when I'm just like neutral faced, people always think I'm like in a bad mood or upset about something. I don't even know, I can't do it on purpose right now, I can't. I think maybe like that, but probably more upset, or especially I curse a lot because I get so very frustrated with things so easily. But then a second later, I've like completely moved on from it. But then people still ask what's wrong because like, are you okay? You just started cursing or something. Well, to ADHD people being friends like, oh, yo bro, sorry, I forgot your existence for a month. Lol, it's cool. I forgot you existed too. Let's hang out soon. Yeah, especially like if you work together or if you're like still in school and you see each other each day, it's very easy. Then you just don't really contact them over the holidays. I always felt so bad because I never forgot, or like I never really remembered to text people like over summer vacation specifically. And then you got back to school and you were like, oh, hi, sorry, I forgot you existed. And they're like, oh, I missed you. And you're just like, sure, yeah. Oh, well. Me, trying to express my feelings, be like, I feel like, but but like it's like so like I don't know, like it's like not like, but like I don't know. Yes. And the dumbest thing is, I'm not a native English speaker, but a lot of times when I try to explain what I'm feeling, or for like if I want to explain what I'm feeling or what I'm thinking, if I try to do it in German, which is my native language, right, it ends like this. But if I do it in English, it's somewhere more fine, and it usually ends in like Denglish, of like a mix of German and English, and it's just a mess. Which is why I can't be friends with people who don't understand English at all, because I do not know how to communicate in German. The more I read about ADHD, the more I feel like one of those birds that got imprinted on a human and grew up having no freaking clue. It's a duck. Like, not even about things I suck at, but freaking everything I thought was only part of my personality. Like, imagine being like, oh man, I hate taking walks next to bodies of water. I always want to jump in, and it's really hard to resist the urge, and either I jump into the water and people get weirded out, or I have to spend the entire time resisting the urge to go into the water, so I'm distracted from the conversations and people get annoyed with me. That's because you're a duck. The what now? You want to be in the water because you're a duck. People don't get an urge to go into any random body of water every time they see one. That's a duck urge. You have it because you're a duck. Wait, other people aren't just better at resisting the urge? They literally don't have it in the first place? Yes. Oh. When I read this for the first time, I was like, what? I'm a duck, apparently. Apparently I'm a duck. Not in the literal sense of I want to jump into water. But, yeah. If you have ADHD, you're a duck now, apparently. But listen. Things your brain does, and everyone else seems to like not struggle with it, like paying attention to a conversation. Other people seem to do it very easily, but for you it's always like such a struggle, especially if you like try to maintain eye contact to be polite, and then suddenly you don't pay attention, or you have like auditory processing issues and you hear them talking but it's not making sense, and then you just sit there like after they finish because they're waiting for an answer, but you... So frustrating. So frustrating. We're all ducks. That's just what it is. ADHD is only motivated by 5 things: urgency, challenge, novelty in play, interest, being a contrarian little bitch. I'm also very food motivated. Yeah, we're cats. True. And ducks. But character-wise, this seems like very much of a cat thing, actually, yeah. The sentence in my mind, looking totally good. Literally the same sentence when I try to say it out loud. Yes. When your procrastination reaches new levels, I will talk with anyone about anything for free. Sometimes you gotta, you know? My autistic ass when someone doesn't believe me and then they Google it and see that I'm right. Especially if it's about your special interest and they try to disagree with you. Go off on them. Just go off on them. Damn, it looks like I'm kinda busy today. To-do list. Overthink. Miss someone I never had. Go have a snack. Overthink. Listen, if this is your to-do list, you're probably gonna be busy every day. Also, maybe put hydrate on there. Also, if you haven't had enough water today, go drink some water. Or tea. I don't really care. But drink something, please. An actual photo of my brain, unable to tell the difference between what's important and what doesn't freaking matter. Every time. The whole not being able to filter background noise out, so annoying. Not really information related, just generally. ADHD culture is not knowing when to ask for help, because overwhelmed with things to do is kind of your normal default state, and how to ask for help because you don't even know how to describe what needs doing. So organizing the help would be more work than just doing it yourself. Yes. Or also, if you know what you need done and how you need it done, then to actually make sure the other person does it in exactly that way. So frustrating. And actually quicker to do it yourself, yeah.
Need to find a new name for ADHD. Dopamine attention variability executive dysfunction. Dave? Dave.
God fucking damn it, Dave.
I like it, but I also find it very hard to remember. But god freaking damn it, Dave, what are you doing?
5 common triggers for meltdowns and shutdowns in neurodivergent people. This is something my therapist taught me and I completely relate to it all. First is sensory overload. This can be very dysregulating for a neurodivergent person who processes sensory information differently. That information might be processed more intensely than non-neurodivergent people. Second is cognitive overload, so needing to use your executive functioning a lot. That can drain your ability to regulate emotional systems. The third is change or unpredictability. This is particularly a trigger for autistic people who might have that that focus that they have, and when that's suddenly changed, shifting in itself can be a big trigger because that is quite dysregulating. Fourth is injustice. I don't know exactly how to explain this, but I think that a lot of neurodivergent people, autistic people especially, have a strong sense of right and wrong, and when that's violated, it's very difficult to regulate and let that go. It can be a good thing, but it can also be very distressing. And 5 is a trauma trigger. Trauma is very common in neurodivergent people, and especially when all the above needs aren't met. So it's not only you have those needs, but then there's trauma associated with trying to meet those needs. I found it really helpful for myself when I had a meltdown to go through that list and reflect on how much each one of those was contributing. And it's usually a bit of a mix.
Yeah. I'm not even going to say much to this one. I just thought it was informative and wanted to share it with you. I think I talked about it before, getting obsessed with songs, especially if your favorite group brings out a new song or something. Yeah, it always happens. I have another part actually. Yeah, but to be fair, in like a lot of shows or movies, a lot of it seems kind of predictable. Which is why I like Umbrella Academy. Some of it was very predictable, but then it's also so wild. And it's also why I love Doctor Who, because each episode is so wildly different. Like, still kind of predictable, you know, in the end the Doctor's gonna save everything and it's all gonna be fine probably, but still also predictable that a lot of people are gonna die in the process actually. I think it was like one episode where like no one died. It was a double episode, but still.
Here are 5 ways to tell if you're neurodivergent. If you find what I'm about to do funny in any way, then you're freaking neurodivergent.
with the flair she added to it as well. Like the... But also, why did you say 5 ways? That was 1 way. Come on, where are the other 4? What are you doing? Mm-hmm. Oh, velvet. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I can't listen to phone calls if I don't doodle. Or like if someone is talking to me for like a longer period of time, or like back in school, I had to doodle because otherwise I wouldn't be able to listen at all. And that's why I hate long phone calls. Because like if you just have like a short phone call of like things you need to discuss, that's like fine, right? Because you have questions and then you get like an answer to that. That's fine. But long phone calls where the other person is just talking, or meetings, oh my god.
I'm starving. Let's go to the kitchen, get some food. Let's go to the kitchen, let's go in the fridge. I still didn't put away the rest of the groceries. Okay, let's get that done quick.
I'm starving.
Bread, let's grab the bread.
Maybe I'll eat bread.
I forgot tortillas again.
I want a quesadilla.
Okay, whatever, I'll get them next time. What's that one song?
This is so boring.
What's next? What's next?
Could make a smoothie. Smoothies are really good.
Is that bowl still sitting there? Okay,
I wonder
let's
how
go
long
fix
it's been
that.
sitting there.
Oh, and look at those pretty flowers. The colors are
I love
so
summer.
nice. I think you could use some water though. Let's go water them.
Love flowers. Don't drop it. Wonder how easily it would break. Is the vase even glass? Okay, it didn't break it. Don't get any on your hands. Don't miss. Don't get any on your hands. Don't miss. Don't miss. Don't miss. Don't miss. Such a gross feeling.
Water. Perfect. Oh, does that only have 1 pill left? Why do I do this every time? Oh, I forgot to call the pharmacy.
I hate pharmacy.
Okay, I need to do that. Write it down, 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 write it down. I wonder what the etymology of the word pills is. I'm an orthodontist, it's Greek. Nice. Gotta do that. Oh, print form before meeting.
Don't forget the meeting.
I have that meeting soon. I should really go and get ready for that.
So much work.
Maybe it comes from the Latin word pilla.
I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Flowers, flowers. I need to go and put the flowers back.
Okay, why is it more stressful if it's someone else's? Because actually, being like that yourself is also, it can also like very easily be stressful. But seeing someone else do it seems so much worse. Like it stresses me more if someone else does it. If like someone else runs around and like picks something up and then it's like, oh wait, sees something else and then starts picking that up or doing that. It annoys me so much more than if I do it myself. Why?
About having ADHD is that when my brain decides that's enough, it's not negotiable. I can't just push through and get it done. If my brain has decided it doesn't want to focus anymore, forcing it doesn't work at all. I just become emotional. If this isn't the most relatable ADHD meme I've ever seen, and this is the thing that neurotypicals don't understand, is that we can't just push through the same way that they can, because pushing through requires dopamine. And if we run out, we're out. There is no pushing through.
Which is why stereotypes or like misinformation or like just not understanding ADHD is so frustrating. Because it's not laziness. Sure, ADHD people can still be lazy. Everyone can be lazy. But a lot of things aren't us being lazy or not wanting to do something. It's just our brain being like, no. And trust me, we hate our brains just as much as you do sometimes.
How people with ADHD see people without ADHD, part 2. Oh, hey, so I got an early start on that thing you asked me to do and just finished it up. This wasn't due till next month. I know, I knew it was important, so I moved some things around so I could get it to you quickly. Does it look okay? Yeah. So you have an extraordinary gift. Your parents must be very proud. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. What did I say? There's nothing less motivating than having too much time. Because then your brain's just like, you don't need to do that now. It's not happening now. How do you start early? How does that work?
Hey, did I miss anything? Oh, nothing really. She's been thought bouncing for like the last 2 minutes straight. Wow, that's a long one. Where did she start? Well, we were talking about the fact that if you say forward or back, your mouth moves in the direction you're saying, so this could really end up literally anywhere. Oh my god, I'm excited to see what she says. Hey, what do you think the first profession was? Great question. Please elaborate. Well, someone at some point had to consider what they were doing a job, and then other people had to consider doing the same job, thus classifying it as a profession. Totally. Can I ask how you got to that thought? Well, I was thinking of the word back, and then that made me think of Back to the Future, and I was trying to think of what time period I would go to, which then made me think of Night at the Museum, because he was essentially able to be in like every time period at once. How crazy was that movie? Anyways, I started thinking about the fact that he was a security guard, and I wondered which time periods would know what a security guard was, and that made me think, when was the first security guard? And if there was a first security guard, there had to be a first profession at some point, so what was the first profession? Your mind is beautiful. Please never change. Thanks.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the positive things. Like, sure, it makes like no sense at first how you got from point A to point B, because it more seems like point A and point 26. Like, it seems completely unrelated. Stop it. But it is kind of beautiful.
Hey, did you get the groceries? Wait, what? I said, did you? Yeah, I did. Why did you? Whatever. Did you remember Chips? Did Heather get the script? I don't think there's a Heather in the cast. What? I don't see a Heather on the cast list. Is she part of the backstage crew? I have no idea who Heather is. Neither do I. I don't know if she's like an understudy. I'll just go and check. I'm not talking about Heather. Then who needed a script? No one. Then why did you say, you know what? I'll just go to the store and get chips myself. Oh, no need. They're in the cabinet. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Listen. It can be frustrating. It can be frustrating because she still seems very calm about it, because you know the people that just like start being mad at you because you didn't understand them. Legit, when I was a kid, I was dragged to like doctors to check my hearing kind of a lot. But I could always hear perfectly. And then they thought I was just like being flaky and didn't want to listen. Oh well.
This is yours if you take it off the wall.
Okay, great. Do you want it?
Yeah, of course, it's free money.
So grab it.
I will.
When?
I don't know.
Of course, he wants the money, and he understands why it would be a good idea to take the money, same as anyone else would. But wanting is just wanting, and wanting alone isn't going to take that money off the wall. For that to happen, an entirely different set of processes need to fire in the brain. And here's where people struggle to distinguish between laziness and ADHD. If dopamine isn't being received into the right parts of the brain, it is impossible to take action. And it's not a matter of wanting, or understanding, or intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the thing. I think everyone would want to take free money, but actually being able to take it...
He feels like. Part 1. Okay. Yep, I'll get started on this right away. Sure. Dave, any idea what this means? We talked about this last week.
Yep.
Really?
Last week.
This too? This was mentioned in our meeting this morning. Wow. What about these? That's just something you should know.
I hate when people say that.
Hey, can I see yours for a sec? I gotta run. You'll be alright. Okay. Good luck on presenting your findings later.
It's just something you should know. is maybe the most frustrating one. Because honestly, your brain sometimes can't tell what's important and what's not important. So like, even if you were paying attention in those meetings, you maybe didn't remember the right parts. Oh well. And to finish off, something I think, especially if you have ADHD, you can relate to, but why do I get random motivation at 2 a.m. for no freaking reason? Literally. I mean, delayed sleep rhythm, so a lot of ADHD people specifically struggle to have like a normal sleep rhythm. They always like fall asleep way later and like find it easier to go to bed later. Legit, I cannot for the life of me, no matter how early I go to bed and like how many days or weeks I try to go to bed early, I always just lay there until it's after midnight again. Even if I go to bed at 10, it just takes me 2 hours to fall asleep at least. If I just go to bed at midnight, I can fall asleep. Okay, I think it still takes me like 20 minutes, but I can fall asleep easily. But literally, I would like to have a different sleep rhythm. I would just like to go to bed at like 2. But I have to get up early for work, so that's just, I don't want to do that to myself. But I think I would fall asleep even quicker and actually get more done, because actually my motivation starts to hit at like 9 o'clock. But same difference, I guess. Anyways, that was all the memes and TikToks for today. I feel sufficiently called out, so I think I succeeded. But yeah, I hope you had fun, and I will see you in 3 days with my next video, which I have no idea what it is right now, but I guess you'll find out.